Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Crown Genesis in St. Pete, Florida. And guess what? I've been searching and we tracked it down. We have the all new, totally redesigned 2021 Genesis G80. But before we get into this mid-size luxury sedan from this brand that's making a ton of waves in the auto industry, let's talk about what's going on here. Genesis. The brand has been around since 2015. Now here's the interesting thing. This is actually the third generation of this vehicle. And I know you're probably saying to yourself and scratching your head, how is that possible? This is a 2021, how are we already into the third generation? The reason why is that the G80 actually was the vehicle that started it all for Hyundai and Genesis. This was the Hyundai Genesis sedan. Came out in 2009, was that luxury-filled sedan. Obviously there was the spin-off with the Genesis Coupe, but this sedan is what sparked the flame for Hyundai to create their own premium brand. And if you're wondering, well, why would they want to do that? Think about it. Lexus, that's Toyota. Toyota is Lexus, that's a premium brand. Nissan, Infiniti. Even when you look at brands, American brands that have been around for decades and decades, Chevrolet, and then you have Cadillac. Well, guess what? Hyundai, creating the Genesis brand, is really starting to fill in their lineup very nicely. 2021, not only do we have a redesigned G80, but we also have the all-new mid-size SUV, their first SUV, known as the GV80. And if you haven't seen that review, I will leave the link to it at the end of this one. But one thing is for certain, very, very 21st century style is coming to the table, lots of luxury, and some new technology that I think is gonna knock your socks off. So let's go ahead, let's find out, is this G80 better than the Mercedes Benz E-Class? Is it better than the Audi A6 and even the mighty BMW 5 Series? Let's find out. There she is, love the new style. One of the things that I think Genesis is doing so smart is they're creating a brand identifier with this headlight design. If you look at the new GV80 SUV, this G80 and even the upcoming GV70 SUV, which is a little bit smaller, you're gonna get this split headlight design. Really digging it. All LED lighting headlights. We got the hazards on to showcase the turn signals and your daytime running lamps. Everything inside is blacked out nicely with just a little bit of shiny chrome finish in there. But the way that the bodywork kind of carries in and flows around the bend, very exquisite. It looks like something from Bentley or even Rolls-Royce. But guess what? Hold on to your wallet because you're not going to be spending all that money that you would on this G80. It's not going to cost as much, and that's one of the big thumbs up for this vehicle. Now, as we work our way down, you have a functional side air curtain. I like the way this lower section of the corner is that crisscross grille pattern, and that's going to carry into the main grille. We have a little bit of shiny chrome on this horizontal bar here, but it's going to direct airflow right towards that air curtain, so it's nice to see functionality. It's nice to see a cohesive design, and I really like the way it's got a concave shape to it just to give a little bit extra depth and flavor. The way that they did the front fascia kind of carried it down, looks clean. And then as we come across the front, this may be the debatable topic. The front end of a Genesis G80 is pretty much all grille. I don't know, at first when I laid eyes on a picture of this on the interwebs, I was like, I don't know if I'm digging that. But the more that I sit here and stare at it, it's really working the way they carried that shape into the front of the vehicle, all full functional. And then of course they got that crisscross design that mimics on the bottom into the center grille area. Work your way down, it comes to a nice point. I like the way they bring that color all the way to the point and then it flares out on the bottom. I think that's what really helps the design. And then of course with those headlights, super clean. You're not going to confuse this with any of the German Euro brands that I mentioned. Now when you get up onto the hood, love the way it meets perfectly with the top of the grille, the way they do their logo. I know a lot of people say, hey, it looks like a Bentley, hey, it looks like an Aston Martin. Hey, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, and if you can't beat them, join them. And guess what? Genesis is beating them because they're doing it their own different way. But I love the way that they take the body lines right off of their badging into the hood, and it just disappears as you go towards the windshield. Very, very exquisite, very stylish, very seductive for a mid-size sedan. Now, when we come around the bend, of course, if we have all new sheet metal, we have to have some new wheel design. I like the overall work that's going on with this G80 wheel. It does mimic, if you notice the shape to it, the design going on, mimics what's going on with the grille, but it's got a nice, almost like brushed aluminum finish. You got your Genesis badging, and then check out the size of those calipers. Nice, massive, with the Genesis badging there, and you're gonna get a great size rotor that's fully ventilated. This Genesis will be able to stop on a dime and give you change. That is certified through the brand, through the company. Plus, the other great news is this G80, it's rear-wheel drive. It's a rear-wheel drive mid-size sedan, so it's gonna give you some really nice driving dynamics, but the wheel looks super clean with our particular blacked out G80. Now, as we go down the side, this is something that I think was super smart of Genesis to do. They have this signature side marker lights. I love the way they have some nice bright metal work and some ornamental trim. Fits perfectly, and I'm telling you, you see this car going down the road, you're not going to confuse it with anything else, and it blends in perfectly with what's happening at the front end of the business. Now, as we go down the side, you'll notice the hard body lines, nice hard line on the fender, disappears as you get into the side passenger door. You're going to have color matched mirror caps. We do have a nice size sunroof action going on, which I can't wait to show you when we get inside. We have bright, shiny metal work, both top and bottom, which I think works very clean. Some chrome trim on the top of the door handle here. I think if you look at the other brands, you're gonna see some of that same styling touch. And then I think it was super smart. Look what they did down below. So as you work your way down this sexy door, there's a nice body line that's so light here, but the chrome trim just wide enough goes all the way towards the rear. I think that really is what makes it for me when looking at the side of the vehicle. As we go down that nice sloping roof into the rear glass that just kind of fades away, you got a great size on the quarter window. I love the way they take that shiny trim and flare it out all the way into the rear pillar. And then another thing as well, which I forgot to talk about, was if you're wondering, well, what size are the tires? You're looking at 245, 45 series all the way around. Gonna give you a nice ride, but it's also gonna give you some grip as well. As we come towards the rear fender, I'm gonna have Lori kind of swing out and just, I really think it's super sexy how that body line comes off the rear passenger door and flares into that nice fender. And then if you notice, we pick up our taillights and it wraps around like two fingers, two LED fingers wrapping around, mimics exactly what's happening at the front end of the business to the tail end of the business, all LED lighting, a little bit of chrome trim along the edge here of the trunk. I like the kick up. That's gonna take the place of a trunk lid spoiler, but look at the touches. You see where they put the trunk release button, hence the sticker here, but that would come off obviously when you purchase this vehicle. It mimics the shape of the Genesis grille. Clean 21st century badging. G80 is all you need. 3.5 liter turbo. Yes, we have the twin turbo V6. You can get this with all-wheel drive. It is optional, but let me showcase what's going on with the exhaust. You have this nice decorative trim ring, exhaust located behind there, but look at how the shape is exactly the same shape as the grille. It's those touches that let you know that Genesis goes the extra mile. And then the one thing I am gonna zonk at the back is the fake venting. It's nice that it looks similar to what's at the front end of the business, but you do have your reverse lights nice and low. I do like this ledge that they built into this lower diffuser area. Really gives it a nice, clean, different kind of style look to it. But why don't we go ahead, why don't we pop the hood and check out that 3.5 liter twin turbo engine. All right guys, we got the hood popped on the G80. You do have hydraulic hood struts. Underneath the hood, tasteful engine cover. I wish there was just a little bit more color to it, but you can see the bracing that they put at the front end of the business to really just kind of stiffen it up a little bit and to give some good handling. Because remember, we are in a nice rear-wheel drive setup on the sedan, but what you're looking at is a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. There is a smaller engine option, but we're not even gonna mention it right now because I am liking what I'm seeing with this twin turbo power. 375 horsepower, 391 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60 in about 5.2 seconds. MPG's not too shabby, 19 in the city, 27 on the highway, and the car weighs 4,231 pounds. It's nice to see that you could actually see some of that V6 twin turbo instead of it being totally encased in plastic. But if you pop the hoods of the competition, you're gonna get the same overall feel, and finish underneath the hood. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to that interior and see what big things Genesis is bringing to the table. All right, guys, come into the lap of luxury, which this Genesis G80 is all about, especially for 2021. I know you're at that point, you're like, Joe, just like you, I've been using the Google, I've been using the interwebs, I've been looking at this vehicle. I want one, and I want one bad. What's the MSRP on it? The way that this one is optioned, you're looking at an MSRP right around $60,525. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. Absolutely love the style that they brought into the door panel. You're gonna get the two-tone color, the gray with the beige. You got open pore wood. I love the silver trim for the door handle, the speaker cover up top, and then as you work your way down, look in the middle there. This has the optional Lexicon sound system, 21 speakers. Look at that speaker grill cover. Absolutely drop dead gorgeous, and that's what Genesis is bringing. Door pocket is a decent size. You'll be able to get your foot-long cold cut combo from Subway and probably a can of Dr. Pepper to wash it all down. But I'm really loving the way it all flows to the edge of the armrest there. Very clean design, very fresh design. Now when we get to the dash, soft touch material, just like on that door panel, the open pore wood. I almost feel like I could hear the tree that was chopped down for this wood being chopped down. That's how fresh it feels, how fresh it looks. Look at how fresh that is. You got your 10 inches, you got your 12 inches, we have 14.5 inches of visual pleasure smacking you right dab in your eyes. Love the clarity of it, the graphics, the wide view is just drop dead sexy. It really is. Touchscreen, yes. We bring up the menu very easily. I like the way they kind of brought it down a little bit. Let me go ahead and walk you through some of the setups with it. Of course, you're gonna have Apple CarPlay, you're gonna have Android Auto. We have that nice swipe feature. You could do the sounds of nature. So you go into that, you could play the forest sound. Got the nice forest going on right here. Nice, sounds good. Turn it up. Rainy day, just do not, I promise you, you don't want to use that if you have to use a restroom and you're out on the highway. Even open air cafe. Really nice. I want a cup of coffee right about now. Or since we're getting close to the holidays, right? We could go into our warm fireplace. It's like I could almost smell the marshmallows that we're gonna make s'mores with. Very nice touch, and that's what makes this vehicle extra special. Have a hard day at work, you don't have to worry about going home miserable and being upset. You can listen to your sounds, it's gonna cheer you up. You got your climate controls, which are real easy to get into. Look at the graphics and everything. This is what makes you feel like this is a vehicle that costs twice as much as what it does. Now, as we drop down, I love the nice ornamental start-stop button. Very, very pretty, almost like an earring somebody would want to wear, even with it saying start-stop. That would look kind of weird. But you have this silver trim with all your controls. Look at the AC controls with the TFT display. We have ventilated seats, we have heated seats, you got your dual climate control, and then more wood, and I love the lid. So open sesame on door number 1, you got your wireless charging, 2 USBs, really nice size. Close it up, it slides. Look how clean that is. You need cup holders? Bam, we got 2 cup holders, even with the silver trim. Let me close that back up. Look at this guy right here. So this is your directional drive controller. So you could use the touchscreen, or you could use this beautiful controller here to go through the different functions of the infotainment system. I love the nice brushed aluminum silver look. Even though it's plastic, it just has a nice touch to it. And this is gonna be your shifter for that 8-speed automatic transmission. You have your direct drive controller here, rotary knob, and I'm gonna go ahead and show off the backup camera. So we're gonna go back to the screen here, and you can see your backup camera. I wish it was a little bit larger. I'm sure some of you have heard that every now and then, but it would be nice if it filled up the screen a little bit more. But you do have trajectory, which is awesome. I'm gonna go back into park, real simple, and it brings you right back. You got your different drive modes, which is awesome, and I'll show you that when you come to the business end. More of that wood, and then watch this. Hit the button, bombs away. You have your felt line peanut M&M peanut party tray. You won't scratch your nuts on this, which is good. You got a 12 volt, and you could probably fit, I would say, 16 packages of Reese's peanut butter cups or 10 packages of Twix bars. So those are your options when it comes to the center console space. Let me show you the key. Right now it's wrapped in this little plastic condom, but there is your key fob. Genesis, looking good. We flip it around. You have your silver, nice aluminum buttons on the back, remote start and everything. Let me put that back on so we are protected. And then the seats, absolutely stunning. The leather is phenomenal. The piping is exquisite. Love all the perforated center, the design, nice bolstering. I like the large amount of real estate that you have here to fit all sorts of body types. And then of course you got full electric for the passenger and the driver. And then check out our sunroof. You have that panoramic style sunroof, really, really great. One touch, look at this. Boom, and there you go. And then we have a wonderful frameless auto dimming mirror, which is important. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind this two-tone steering wheel and our Genesis G80. All right, guys, we're inside the Genesis G80. You do have 2 memory seat settings. I do like the nice, tasteful silver aluminum sill panel. Would have been nice if this had some LED lighting, so I am going to zonk it, but it does look classy here during the daytime. You have your seat controls that are real easy to get to. Adjust that lower lumbar area, the back portion of the seat. And then I got plenty of headroom in here. I'm 6 feet tall. I feel really good, really comfortable. I like how high the center console comes up, and the armrest is actually feeling really good on my elbow. Steering wheel, you know, most of the time I don't like this style, but I'm sort of digging it. I'm actually digging a little bit more in here than I was the GV80. Two-tone is actually working, I think. Blends in nicely with everything else, but you got the gray around the outer, and then you have the beige on the inside with a little bit of silver trim, thumb wheel drives, and then there's our dash. This is your standard dash. You can get an optional 12-inch 3D digital display, but it's nice to show you all the different trims, and we're going to be bringing you the higher trims as well. But we do have an analog speedometer. You have that digital display there where you could go through all sorts of different readouts. There's our tachometer. Of course, you got your lane keep assist, all the goodies in the center. And then on top of that, remember I told you we had different modes. So you have your custom, comfort, sport, and eco modes to go through as you're driving. I do like the nice hood area that they have with the stitch work. The silver trim is looking great, but you know what? It's not just about the people on the front end of the business. We gotta take care of the passengers in the back. Let's see what kind of space they have in the new G80. All right, guys, backseat time. You know, the Genesis G80 is sitting on an all-new chassis. It's more rigid. It actually is gonna give you a better ride. Plus, it's giving your backseat passengers a ton of room, and that's gonna lead to some nice backseat fun, if you know what I mean, as you're driving. Now, when you go to the backs of the seats, you do get pockets on both sides. The bad news is that they don't really expand or extend very far. And if you notice, you're not gonna want to put food in there because you'll squish whatever food you have in there. So maybe put like a Palm Pilot, an Abacus, maybe even a Texas Instruments calculator. Or if you wanted to, here's a little tip to let your friends, your adult friends, think that your kids are really smart. Leave some books back there. Maybe A Tale of Two Cities, The Old Man and the Sea. Even if your kids have never even picked up a book, they don't even know what a book is. When your friends come back here, they'll be like, wow, I'm impressed. Little fun fact from me to you. And then the back area is gonna have, of course, your rear AC. I love the way they did the AC vents, the way that they extended the leather with the stitch work. You do have your climate controls, easy to get to. My only zonk is for $60,000, where's my ventilated seats? Where's my heated seats back here? I may be asking for a lot, but I think, like I said, for your hard-earned money, it would be nice if we had some ventilated or heated seats. Speaking of the seats, they feel great. I mean, even the way they did the headrest, I love the way it fits right in the curvature of the back of my skull to where my cranium just feels oh so good. You know, my occipital lobe is just resting right on that cushion of the headrest. It feels good. But anyways, armrest, yes, we have it. This flops down very nicely. We have our little pass-through. So if you have a younger sibling, leave them in the trunk and have them pass you snacks and stuff from the trunk area. And then when you don't want to hear them, just close it. Love the armrest. And it mimics perfectly what's going on up front. Open it up. We do have a USB, so thank God for that one. Thank Genesis for one USB. It would be nice to have two USBs, but you get a nice size cubby back here that is felt lined, so you could put your iPhone 78 and the Palm Pilot in here and it's not going to get scratched. We got a little bit of a Twizzler tray, and then the shade. We have shades, the security shades that are manual on the side. You have a nice electric one that you just hit this button and watch, you drop it like it's hot. Ooh, it's kind of getting hot. The sun is kind of making the back of my head hot. So we'll pull that back up. And then you have 2 cup holders. Really nice, simple, exquisite. Put it back. Why don't we go ahead though? Let's check out where your little brother is, see if he's still alive in the trunk. All right guys, time to get into the trunk. Like I pointed out and like the label here says, we're gonna hit that Genesis grill shade button right there. Nice electric assist, and you're welcomed to a trunk that has a nice wide opening, 13 cubic feet of space. You do have a pass-through, which is a nice option in there. And then I like the way that they give you those emergency cargo nets here. And the reason why they're emergency nets is this is where you want to keep those emergency snacks in case you are on a family trip and somebody gets hangry. Let's go ahead and pull up the cargo mat. You do get a nice spare there, easily accessible right up top. So many brands are cutting their spares out. It's nice to see that Genesis still gives you that, but you have a nice low loading floor to kind of get some taller items in there. And this is just important to point out because you could use this very easily as your daily driver and have that lower center of gravity that a sedan is going to give you compared to an SUV. But if you're ready, I'm definitely ready. Nice electric closing trunk. Why don't we go ahead? Let's take this G80 for a little spin. All right, guys, we're leaving Crown Genesis. We're in the all-new 2021 Genesis G80. I do have it in sport mode. And remember, you do that by simply pushing the drive mode selector switch on the center console. Let me go ahead and do a little bit of acceleration test. I'm gonna leave it in automatic mode right now, which you can shift with the paddles. On throttle. Very nice. The twin turbos really spool up smoothly. Just a little bit of waiting for that boost, but when it comes on very strong. I think one of the things you're gonna have to get a little used to is the counterclockwise tach. So the tachometer is on the right, and normally the needles sweep clockwise. It actually sweeps the other direction. So something just a little unique that's on the GV80, on this Genesis G80, and I'm sure going to be on the smaller GV70, but really, really nice, smooth ride. You have those 45 series tires, so they're not too low to where it's going to give you a harsher ride. And definitely the chassis is set up for comfort. I could feel the overall softness of it, but nothing that is too soft to where it just kind of wallows back and forth through the twisty bits. I love all the materials. That open pore wood finish is wonderful. Getting to everything is phenomenal. You do have the touchscreen. I know that's always a sore spot, especially when we look at certain brands that are in this same segment that don't do anything if you touch the screen besides put fingerprints on it. You do have the touchscreen, but you also have the ability to navigate using that direct drive control knob on the center. Very tasteful, elegant. Visibility out the back is super clear. You have nice large mirrors, of course, all the different safety features, and then that infotainment system is just mind-blowing. The Lexicon sound system is going to give you nice tunes as you're driving down the road, but very quiet in here, which is nice. Good weight to the steering, nothing too heavy, which is wonderful. And then you have those large calipers that are going to slow you down. Now, going through the dash, you have that analog tachometer. I do like the paddles on the steering wheel. They're actually a pretty good size considering this isn't some type of luxury sports sedan, but you have these nice paddles, the silver finishes on the stalks of the turn signal and your windshield wipers, very, very tasteful. And the way that the dash flows nicely into the door panel really shows that they did some great design thinking before they just put it together. Guys, let's do another acceleration test. On throttle. So you're definitely getting smooth shifts from that 8-speed automatic, and it's got some really nice acceleration for a vehicle that weighs 4,200 pounds, really smooth. And the way that the vehicle overall just provides such a really serene experience. It's quiet in here. They use great quality noise canceling windshield, thicker glass. The sound deadening is wonderful in here. That's just going to help with the overall experience as you're driving this Genesis G80 and definitely make it feel like a way more expensive vehicle than what it is. Guys, I want to use the paddles. You do get a gear indicator. Second gear on throttle. So very nice smooth shifts from using the paddles as well, so you could have that versatility whether you want it to shift automatically or with the paddles. And that's going to give you, like I said, just a little bit more variety depending on what you want. And remember, we do have it in sport mode, so that is going to adjust how the engine and the transmission behave with one another. Hopefully this gave you guys a great overall feel of what the Genesis G80 is all about. All new for 2021. We're gonna wrap this one up and get back to Crown Genesis, so I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another amazing day here at Crown Genesis. Definitely got to thank Steven and the rest of the crew getting us access to the totally redesigned 2021 Genesis G80. They keep knocking it out of the park with style, with their luxury, and definitely the tech and overall driving experience. And then of course, at the end of the day, nobody could really touch the value of what this brand is bringing, especially with this mid-size sedan. And those other European, specifically the German Euro car companies, really need to watch out because Genesis just keeps doing it again and again and again to them. But if you want to keep seeing mid-size sedans or other Genesis vehicles on Rady's Rise, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rise merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera, my wonderful wife, Lori, working that camera like a champ. Show her some love in the comment section because she's doing such a great job. Thank you for your hard work, Lori. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.